So I had a new customer reach out to me today. I think they were feeling a little overwhelmed about where to start with the indicators. And I've got so many dang videos showing all these different crazy settings and possibilities. I think they're really just looking for a good starting point. So I wanted to make this very basic setup video and show you some of my favorite settings for the instrument and the time frame that I trade personally. It's things I've gone over in the past, but I've done so many upgrades to the indicator. I wanted to make a new video just going over the basics. I'm not going to be using any crazy input series. It's just going to be the default input series of price. And I'm also going to show you how I get these settings, because ultimately the most important thing is that you're figuring out all of these things for yourself. You're doing your own back testing. You're playing around with the settings for the particular instruments and time frames that you trade. Unfortunately, there really is no shortcut with trading. There's just no magic indicator. There's no magic strategy. The only thing that has helped me long term in my own personal experience has been time in the markets, practice, looking at chart after chart after chart, watching and participating in the live markets day after day. That is your best teacher, in my opinion. My focus on this channel has always been to just share the things that I'm personally doing and share some of my own personal creations. I'm not an educator. I'm not selling any courses. I'm not here to teach anyone how to trade. I'm really just sharing my own personal experiences. I'm sharing these indicators that I've made. After the 16 plus years that I've been trading, this is what I want to see in an indicator. There's some basic things that I've created, and there's also some things that I just had never seen in the markets before that I wanted to create and put out there. But none of this stuff is a replacement for actually learning how to trade, and there's a lot of resources out there for that. I'm not sure my channel would be the best resource for a beginner starting out. I'm more catering to people that are really already kind of super motivated to learn everything they can about trading and want to take a deep dive into their own self-exploration. And I'm just throwing out my own personal experiences and ideas. So if you get some benefit from that, that's great. And of course, anyone that buys any of the indicators, I'm always there for technical issues with the indicators, or if you have any technical questions about the indicators. However, I'm just really not able to offer any kind of financial advice, but I'm happy to share my own personal experience, and that's what I'm going to be doing in this video. And I'm really not trying to be a dick about anything. It's just I know from my own personal experience that there really is no magic indicator, no magic strategy. It's all about the mental game. It's all about practice and experience. Nothing that I could actually teach you. So I feel like the best thing that I can offer is to mention those things. But enough with the rambling. Let's get into the video. I'm going to show you detailed settings. This is today's price action. A little bit of pre-market, 8:30 to 10:30 basically, Eastern Standard Time, New York session. This is a micro NASDAQ chart. It's a 1-minute chart. I've also got a regular NQ data series attached to the chart, and I'm getting my order flow data from the NQ. So in my data series, my main chart is the MNQ. Then I also have the regular NQ on here in the background. So in my indicators for the MMT Ultimate Delta, that's printing this histogram down here. Under my input series on this indicator, I've selected the regular NQ. So I've got a choice between the MNQ and the NQ. I've chosen the regular NQ. So I'm getting order flow data for the regular NQ, but I can trade the micros on my chart up here. I've got a 20 period SMA on the chart. This is this white dashed line. I've got some standard Bollinger Bands on here with a period of 20, standard deviation of 2. I've got VWAP on the chart here. I've got the new MMT key levels indicator on the chart that's printing yesterday's close, yesterday's low, the 15-minute opening range center, yesterday's point of control, London Open, some high volume areas. I am supposed to get the final version of the key levels indicator tonight. Hopefully we'll be releasing it tomorrow or Friday at the latest. I've got the pivot point levels on the chart. Here's my pivot point. I've got my innovative ordering buttons from NINZA. This frees up my chart space so I don't have to have Chart Trader on the side. I can squeeze more charts onto my one screen laptop trading setup that I prefer. I've tried trading with multiple screens many times in my past, and I just really prefer the one screen setup. I also prefer trading only one instrument. Whereas in the beginning, I started off trading 8 or 10 different instruments, including gold, oil, YM, the ES, the Euro, and a few others. But having just one instrument to focus on has been very helpful for me. So I've got the MMT Trend and Reversal Indicator on this chart. It's printing these candles, it's printing these arrows, it's printing these divergence triangles. It's also printing the background colors. And I'll break down for you what each section does and how you can adjust it to find your own best settings. And I've got the MMT Ultimate Delta showing my order flow down here. So as with any indicator, I'm not taking any signals from any indicator just because they print. I'm using these as potential guides. I'm factoring in a lot of different things before I take a trade. I'm looking at higher time frames. I'm looking at order flow. I'm looking at volume profile. I'm looking at all these different key levels, factoring in what's going on in the world that particular day, all kinds of things. But just from a basic standpoint, when the background's green, and I've got the green trend flow candles, definitely more curious about longs. Get some nice reversal signals, background turns red, candles turn red. I'm looking to make sure I've got enough space in between these key levels. If I take a trade, I want to make sure there's enough space to reach a potential target. These yellow triangles are divergence. If I start seeing these come in, and there's a key level around, I might be looking for a bounce off of a key level. This is the first minute candle of the New York Open. Usually try to wait a few minutes right at the New York Open just because things get pretty crazy the first few minutes usually. I'm also a big fan of waiting for confirmation. Here we get a green background and a green candle. Price never breaks above this first green candle with the green background. And there's also a key level here right in the way. This is the overnight open. And there's not a lot of positive delta coming in. In fact, we've got a pretty big wick on the top of this delta. This candle is much more enticing. It's a big full-bodied candle, red trend flow candle, red trend core background. This candle is at 9:36, so this 15-minute center, that was in a different place. This is calculating the range between 9:30 and 9:45. It would have been somewhere up here at this moment in time. We got some more delta coming in. We get a nice push lower. Here we got some divergence and a reversal. Hardly any positive delta coming in. I'd want more of a reason to go long. Still have a red trend core background. We're below VWAP. We're below the 20. Here we get some more divergence and a reversal candle. We're getting a close back inside the Bollinger Bands here. Then we start to get some green candles and some more delta coming in. We get a nice pushback up to the 20. This time the center of the opening range had been formed. We get a pushback all the way up to VWAP. So these neutral candles, the white candles, this is keeping me out of chop. Bunch of neutral candles. I don't want to be trading. Price is just bouncing between VWAP and the 20. Here we get a nice breakout above VWAP. Have some nice delta coming in. Got a couple of potential key levels as targets. See how price is respecting these key levels all throughout the day, including the 20-period SMA. We get one more divergence and reversal signal. Start getting some red candles. We make it below the 20, start heading a little bit lower there. So there's a little basic overview of some things that I'm looking for. Let's get into the settings and I'll show you exactly what my settings are here. So here is the MMT Trend and Reversal Indicator. There's 4 basic sections: the trend flow, the reversal section, the trend core section, and the divergence section. This is just using the standard default input series of the close of price for whatever chart that you are working on. No wild MACD or ADX inputs, cumulative delta, nothing like that. Just the close of price. So some of my own personal favorite settings for this very basic standard setup on the 1-minute chart, either the MNQ or the NQ. I've got the trend flow candles on. I've got a strength of 2. I've got the directional filter on. I've got the candle outline and the candle bars activated. So the trend flow is painting the candle colors: green for positive, white for neutral, red for a downtrend. There's also options for sound alerts or pop-up alerts or signal dots. So if you're trying to find the best settings, play around with the strength, you might want to try a 1 or a 2. Those would be my favorite two settings, a 1 or a 2. Try playing around with the direction filter being on or off. Those would be the two main adjustments for the trend flow candles. For the reversals, I've got a look back of 3, overbought of 65, oversold of 35. There's an offset for the arrows, so if you need the arrow to be higher or lower, you can change that in the offset. So I'm getting just about the right amount of reversal signals on this chart. If I'm seeing too many reversal arrows, I can bump up these numbers to 70 and 30, or 80 and 20, 90 and 10. If I'm not seeing enough, I could take these down to 55 and 45, or 50 and 50. So when you're doing your back testing, highly recommend playing around with these two numbers. And then there's the reversal look back parameter. A setting of 3, you will have more arrows versus a setting of, say, 9. Those seem to be my favorite two settings, either a 3 or a 9. If you want more signals, use a lower number. If you want less signals, use a higher number. For the trend core, I've got a trend period of 7. I've got the overbought at 55 and the oversold at 45. If you want to see more transparent areas, I change the overbought and oversold to 60 and 40 or 70 and 30. If you do not want to see any transparent areas at all, put 50 and 50 in the overbought and oversold. Two of my favorite trend core periods are 7 and 14. A lower number will be a shorter time frame. A higher number will be a longer term time frame. I've got the background activated. However, you can deactivate that and have it print the candle colors instead, or alerts, or a marker. For the divergence section, I've got a look back of 1, divergence overbought at 80, divergence oversold at 20. I'm happy with the amount of divergence signals that I'm getting. However, if I wanted to see some more divergence signals, I would lower this to 70 and 30, or 60 and 40, or even 50 and 50, and then I would get more divergence signals. If I bump this up to 90 and 10, I will see less divergence signals. If I raise the divergence look back number, I will also see less signals. So those are the basics for the MMT trend and reversal, and all the different parameters that I highly suggest you fully play around with and do your own back testing and see what might work best for you. Because in the long run, it really doesn't matter what settings that I'm using. If you haven't fully vetted it and tried it out for yourself and done your own back testing and played around with the different settings, that is going to be the thing that gives you the most edge, in my humble opinion. These indicators were not meant to be just plug and play. They're meant to be tools that are highly customizable with a lot of different settings. By changing the input series, you can measure the input of any of your other indicators like the MACD or oscillators or moving averages. These are just creative tools that I've wanted to have in my own trading that I'm offering to the public. If there's people out there that are also inspired to have some similar tools to mess around with. I'm really not trying to be an indicator salesman or convince anyone that my system is the best or anything. I really just wanted to create my own set of tools, and it's been amazing to get the support of other people that are interested in the same kind of things to help me fund the coding and the creation of these tools. So I am infinitely grateful for everyone that has participated in this experiment. And I hope everyone is truly getting some great benefit from these tools. As always, if you have any questions or want to see a video on a particular subject, feel free to leave a comment. I'm definitely always trying to improve and make things easier and more clear. I know I gotta upgrade my website. Got a lot of things on the horizon, and I appreciate everyone's patience as I'm putting this all together. I hope you got some good ideas for your own trading. There's links to everything in the description. If you're enjoying this content, please hit the like button. Thanks for tuning in. Best of luck in your trading. Have a great day.